Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most must watch Bestway TV. This is our first edition of Talk Health. And in a studio today, I have a different guest that you never seen before on Bestway TV. We're going to talk about sexual health. Now, I'm gonna let themselves introduce to you so that way you know and you have a little idea of what we're going to talk about today. Stay connected, call your friends, chill, and then we have the number there is open. You can call to ask any question regarding sexual health. So now, straight away I go to my guest today. We have in the studio Osana, and then we have Label. Osana, welcome.
Well,
And the Label, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, quickly, for the benefit of our viewers, I want you to quickly introduce yourself, Osana. But it's bad, I feel bad to call you just Osana as an African person. I will change, I will call you Madam Osana. How about that?
That's fine. That's
Okay. So, Madam Osana, please look at that camera. That's your camera. Introduce yourself, and then we'll take it from there.
My name is Hosanna Bankhead. Originally, I'm from Zimbabwe. I run a small charity based in Glasgow where we work. It's called Hupenyu Health and Wellbeing. It's about health and mostly around sexual health and all the issues that we as Africans, when we come to Scotland, encounter. So that's basically me, and I've lived in Scotland now for the last 17 years.
Okay, thank you very much. I think people, they know exactly what to expect for what you do for your charity and about sexual health, what we're going to talk about today. Now it's up to you, Mrs. Label. Miss Label? Mrs. Label? Miss Label.
Yep.
Introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Lebo. I work for Hupenyu Health and Wellbeing Project. I'm an outreach worker, so my responsibilities are to go out to the community and find other organizations that we can work with. I've been in Scotland for over 10 years now.
Over 10 years. So thank you so much. Thank you for that introduction. It's amazing. And I'm interested to know about your organization first before we go to the subject itself. Hupenyu. As an organization, as a charity, what do you do and what Hupenyu means and all that kind of stuff, and then why your concentration is more about just Africans?
When I came to Scotland myself, I had a health condition, and that health condition really made me put me in a very, very awkward place because I didn't have anywhere where I could go and speak to other people that knew me, that understood my culture, that spoke my language, that looked like me. So it was really difficult. Yes, it was a difficult terrain to navigate. And I really felt I didn't want another African coming to this country to go through what I went through. Because when you are given a diagnosis of some sort or of a health condition, you need someone to talk to. You need somebody to say to you, it's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. And it has to be somebody who speaks in your mother language or who represents you. And I didn't have that because when I came 17 years ago, it was very hard to see many Africans in Scotland. We were not as many as we are now. So for me, it was a traumatic experience. It was hard. And it took me a long time to get to where I am as I'm sitting here now. And so after that life experience, I thought I needed to give back and try to empower people like me, people who when they go through a traumatic experience, they know where to find help, and they will meet somebody who will speak to them like an aunt, like a gogo, like a sister, like
someone they can relate.
It's somebody they can relate to, and that person will tell them it's going to be okay. It's going to be fine.
Okay. Thank you so much. It's really, really wonderful. But you didn't talk about the things that you do within your charity. What service do you provide?
We provide health training, which is around sexual health, really, and mostly around HIV.
Okay.
And we talk about what is HIV, what does it do to the body, and other sexual transmitted infections. We talk about them, things around herpes, things around chlamydia, things around all these bacterial infections that people do get. And we do offer free massage to people affected.
Wow. Free massage. Only to people who are affected.
People affected or infected with any of these conditions. But if you are not affected and you still want to come, you come in and we can give you massage, but you have to give us a donation of some sort.
Is that a must, or because
it would be nice if you did pay a donation, because we are a charity. We are also looking for money, so it would be nice to have people coming in and donating towards our cause.
What's the minimum? Do you have a minimum set, or you can give 20 pence if you want?
No,
1 p.
No. We minimum maybe £5 and going up. It would be good.
So, but if I have nothing,
if you have nothing, that's okay too. You can still come, because we have that sense of isolation in this community where we don't meet with other people. And Upenyu is the right place. One of the things we say at Upenyu is our space, our voice, and our health. So we are giving that space for people to come and have that space to talk about their health and to talk about themselves and what they want. And massage is just one of those things that is nurturing. In a good way, not in a sexual. It hasn't got any sexual connotations or whatever. It's just having that massage. And we also run a small food bank, because how it came about is one young woman who came up to my office one day. She was an asylum seeker, and she was crying, and she was living with HIV, and she said to me, "Mom, how do they expect me to take medication when I don't even have money and I don't even have food, and I'm supposed to take this medication?" And I thought to myself, "Oh my God, I don't even know what to do with you." But she was saying what she was experiencing at that time. So you need to have food. So
before you can take medication.
And on that day, I remember I gave her £10 from my own purse, which I was not supposed to do, because she was saying she's hungry. And I gave her that £10 to go and buy food. And out of that, we developed a food bank. So we run a food bank once a week on Thursdays.
Within your office?
Within our offices, yes. People, we come and we assess them and decide whether they really need the food. And so it's a small one. It's a small food bank. At the moment, we are feeding like 63 families.
That's good.
So we dispense food. And then we also do outreach work, and I think Lebo will talk about
I was going to ask Lebo, because you do you are an outreach worker within Upenyu. So do you encounter a lot of Africans that they are living with ignorance of sexual health?
Yes, actually we do, because the organizations that we work with, there are Africans there who don't know about these services, how they can get help and how to access these services. So when I go and do outreach work, the last one I went was Bame. We serve the Bame community. So it was one of the Bame organizations, and I went there and they did not even know that we exist. So we did not know that they exist. But me going out, then we found each other, then we can do referrals. So what we cannot do for a service user, then we can refer them to all these organizations that we've made relationships with. So that's what I do.
So what kind of experience do you have when you meet people that they don't have awareness about sexual health? When you just come up with maybe you start talking about sexual health, and whatever way you're going to talk to them, whatever awareness you're going to raise there about HIV, whatever sexual transmitted disease, what is the reaction of people?
Sometimes it's a bit sad, because when I do sexual health training, you find girls who've never even seen a condom, a boy who've never even seen a condom. They don't know anything about it. They just came here. They don't know anything about contraception.
It's okay. It's a fancy word.
I know it's a very hard word. And they don't know where to get help. They don't know about Sendifort. We use Sendifort in Glasgow because we are based in Glasgow. They don't even know about the services that they can access to get help. They don't know about chlamydia. They've never heard about all these sexual health diseases. And when they go out and do that and they come back, they leave chlamydia in their bodies chlamydia is the worst one. You will have it in your body. It doesn't have signs. Yeah, it doesn't
some
have,
people.
Yes, in some people.
Yeah.
And they can live with that for months or years.
And they're not aware of it.
They're not aware of it until they get pregnant, and if it's a woman.
Okay, now, since our main topic today, ladies and gentlemen, please, you can call the number, is right there on your screen. Phone and ask any question. Here is Talk Health. So we are talking about sexual health. And then if you have any question, or here live or after the show, our number is the same. 074 5921 3060. So you can call and give us your concern about this show. Now, we are going to talk about sexual health within African community. Can you really elaborate, talk about it a little bit, because we want to know more about it?
I do believe as Africans, everybody within the African community living in the Western world should know their status. They should be tested for HIV. And the reason being that we are coming from places of high prevalence, and sub-Saharan Africa has the highest prevalence of HIV in the world today, as we know. And the chances are that most likely we're involved in a relationship and you contracted HIV. HIV does not show immediately. It takes years before it can actually show that you have the virus. You will have things around swollen lymph nodes. You have colds that never really seem to go away. You have some, whatever your skin happens becomes dry. Or you cough, all these kind of things. So I would really say, and it is a fatal disease if it's not treated. Once you contract HIV, it's fatal. And you need to know your status so that you can go on treatment. And when you are living in the United Kingdom or Scotland, that is, the policy now is that test and treat. So you test and then you test positive. You are put on treatment straight away. And people do not have to know that you have the virus.
The thing is, sometimes people, treatment is there. But I remember, I come from Africa, right? There is sometimes you hear about treatment, but deep down, forgive my ignorance, but deep down you think like this person is not going to get healed. No matter what, the final destination is death. So that makes people like, even if I go, even though I get treated, in the end, this disease is not going to be killed. It's not going to be healed. In the end, it's just death.
No. It's not death. You can be treated, and I would say you would live a normal life. And if you are on treatment, you live a near normal lifespan. So research has shown that people living with HIV are living normal lives and productive lives. You don't have to be very sickly if you are living with HIV. You can live a normal life.
So you can still have children?
You can still have children, you can still get married, you can still have a job, you can still do your life before you got HIV, the same life that you are going to continue with.
So since you are sexual health maybe practitioner, do you think there is hope for this disease to be completely healed?
Yes, research is ongoing. We have research ongoing all the time in the sexual health field. So yes, there are researches that are going on. I don't know, there's a research for cure which is going on. But at the moment, I am quite happy with the treatment that is there because it keeps you alive. And that's another topic when we go into research and what research is happening in sexual health. But at this point in time, I would say we have very good treatment. Okay. We have moved very far from the old treatment that used to cause things around lipodystrophy, lipoatrophy, which used to cause all sorts of things. Yeah. And the treatment now is just as good.
So the key point, you need to get tested.
Yes, the key point is people need to get tested and to know their status, so that if they do not have HIV, they remain so. And that also includes them going to using condoms, not having multiple partners. And within the African culture, we have a way of saying men can have as many women as they want. But that is not safe. That is not healthy. That is really sad. And I can only talk from a point of my view. In my country, which is Zimbabwe, where I originally come from, I saw so many people dying. They died because of ignorance, of not knowing. And when it first started, people were calling it the slim disease. People would lose weight and all sorts of things. They would have TB, but nobody wanted to admit that something was happening. Even the government itself took a long time to admit that people are dying of this thing. And if the government had been proactive, I don't think we would have lost as many people as we did in my country. We lost a lot of good minds. We lost a lot of young people, children.
Because of lack of knowledge,
because we didn't have the structures in place to teach people to say, be very careful when you go out there and have sex. Because yes, sex is meant to be pleasurable. And most of the time we do it in privacy and in secrecy. But when it manifests in a disease, it's something that's very highly stigmatized.
Yeah, true.
And people do not want to be known that they do sex. And we actually forget, each and every one of us is a product of sex, actually. Our parents had to do something for us to be born. So it's something that we really need to be talking about. It's something that we really need to be addressing within our communities.
Our community, and then you need to test yourself.
Yes.
Label, Madam Osana has said quite a lot about testing, knowing your status, and more to do with sexual health, what we are talking about today. Is there anything that you're going to add?
I think with HIV, when you are on treatment, which is very important once you've tested, when your viral load is undetectable, that means they cannot find, the HIV is still in your body, but it's suppressed.
Yeah, but you need to make sure you use the terminology that can be understood very well.
You see, HIV stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus.
Okay.
So the HIV, when it gets into your body, it starts attacking your cells, and it takes on the DNA of your cells, which protects you. So you get a cold. And the body says, we need to fight this cold.
Yeah.
Instead of you producing the cells that protect you from the cold, you start producing the HIV virus. So that means that's why your cold takes longer than necessary to get finished, because you are not producing the white blood cells that are meant to bring about healing. So the HIV increases in your body. So by the time you are diagnosed, by the time when you have what we call AIDS, which is acquired immune deficiency syndrome, where you have all these other diseases coming in, the virus is so much in your body that your body is not able to contain it.
So the first you know, the earlier you know.
The earlier you know, the better. Because then the HIV does not increase in your body. Because for every disease you have, if you are not on treatment and you have the HIV virus in your body, it makes the HIV even more in your body, because your body is now beginning to produce a lot of the HIV virus, because the HIV is so clever. It goes in and it steals whatever. I'm not a scientific person, but it then starts behaving like the white blood cells that protects your body.
Okay.
So your body will say, okay, I've got TB. and then you start, instead of producing something to protect you from the TB, you start producing more HIV virus. So therefore, the TB doesn't go away as quickly as it should because your body is so full of the HIV virus.
I think maybe next time we'll talk more about how to protect HIV and what it does to the body.
Yes.
Because this is the first edition anyway. You still come back.
So the more, the earlier you know, like Lebo has said, you know that you have got HIV. And you get tested and you are put on treatment and you adhere to your treatment. You take your treatment daily as your doctor says. Then the HIV is suppressed to levels. It doesn't mean it's not in your body. To levels that the technology that is there now available cannot determine how much of the virus is in your body. Okay. They call it undetectable.
Yeah. No.
So it means you can't pass it on to the next person.
To the next person.
Because it's negligible in your blood system.
You can have sex with someone who knows their status.
Yeah.
I was gonna leave this bit because this is a continuous show.
Yes, it's a continuous
show.
So
if we finish all today, that means like there's no more.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm gonna jump to this just to give people the hint of what it's all about this show.
Yeah.
So they know next time they need to tune in again to hear more about sexual health, more about how to protect yourself against HIV, more to do with your sexual health, more sexual education. Now, we need to talk a little bit about World AIDS, because there is a bit of like coming from African community. I don't even know the significance of World AIDS Day.
I think it's a huge significance that we should all get involved. I don't know. I think most people within the African continent, and some of us want to hide our heads in the sand and pretend it's not happening. We would rather say somebody has died of cancer instead of actually addressing that somebody has died of HIV. So we say, oh, they had cancer and they died. We would rather do that. And for me, the World AIDS Day is so important because it puts us in a place where we remember those that have passed on because of this condition. And also just to bring about awareness that people need to be tested and everybody needs to know their status. Because you really do not have to die because you have HIV. You can live a long, productive life when you have HIV.
Yeah.
And you are taking your medication. But you have to know. You do not take medication unless you know.
I think next time what we're going to do is, next time we're going to do the next show, it's going to be maybe talk health, still talk health. But we're going to do maybe testing and then, what do you call it?
You equals you, I think is important again.
Yeah, so we're going to do a particular show about that so that we concentrate just on how to test and then the benefit of testing and all that kind of stuff. So, Lebo, Madame Osana has said it all, like about the significance of World AIDS Day. Do you have anything to add?
No, just honestly, just knowing your status, it's very important. Because you not only are you protecting yourself, but you're protecting your loved ones.
Okay, so how do you celebrate this day? How do you organize it? Do you have somewhere you meet?
I mean, there's a lot that happens even within HIV Scotland. In Scotland, they have a theme every year, and then they meet in the Scottish Parliament and they discuss about it. But I'm talking about, I'm not even going that high. I'm talking about within the African communities ourselves. We should also be having a very powerful statement within the African communities. And I really believe as Africans, when we are living in the diaspora like we do, we should be Africans first, and then our villages come into place. And what I mean by villages, I mean Zimbabwe, South Africa,
so
Malawi,
united.
Whatever. We should be united as an African people, and we should come together because having the highest incidence of HIV in the continent, for me is unacceptable, because it means our governments were not even putting structures in place to protect their people, and therefore we lost a lot of people within our communities. And we have so many orphans, children who have grown up without parents.
This is the thing I always ask, but I'm not going to ask this question anyway. But I'm just going to say, in terms, I was going to ask how to become united, but that's a different question, because I was talking to someone about that as well. But it's more about the World AIDS Day. Yeah.
Yes.
How because. Is it just like anyone from their house? You just remember this is World AIDS Day, or do you have a particular event where you invite people,
yes,
and then you raise awareness, you do whatever you have to do?
Last year we had an event as Wupenyu. We joined up with Waverly Care, and we joined up with we joined up with the Congolese community in Motherwell, and we met on a weekend, on a Saturday, and we had the NHS Lanarkshire coming in, and it was a wonderful day. It was people within the community, Africans meeting in that community and discussing, and we talked about HIV and what we could do as a community, as African people. How do we prevent? We are coming here, and I do believe we are the third wave or the last wave of migrants who are coming here to Britain, to Scotland, and we are beginning to settle in. We are having children. Our children are getting born here. And we need to protect them from this virus, because I do believe we can come to the end of the HIV epidemic. But if we do not know, and we do not have structures, and we do not educate ourselves among the African community about sexual health, how are we going to deal with it? It's going to continue. People are going to die needlessly. People who have died, I've seen people dying in this environment due to stigma, due to lack of knowledge, due to the fact that they didn't want people to know that they were living with HIV. I live with HIV. I would rather live with this condition than to be said I have cancer, because I know I can live for the next 94 years. It just depends on my lifestyle. And I have everything that I want to have in my life, because I work hard, I take my medication, and for me it's the best thing that has ever happened, because now I know my condition and I protect myself. So therefore I look after myself well. And nobody, when I'm walking the streets of Glasgow or wherever, now that I've said it on television, maybe they will say, oh, that woman who lives with HIV. Not that it bothers me really, but the fact is,
I didn't know that you were talking about you. I feel like you are doing like illustration, but
I'm talking about me. But the fact that I live with it does not make me less of a person.
No,
yes, I live with this condition, and you know what? It has empowered me. It has made me who I am. It has made me understand what I am.
Okay, we've got a call quickly. Hello.
Hello.
You are live on Baseway TV, and this is Talk Health. Your contribution or your question to the show?
I have a question. My name is Arsene Gosha.
Okay.
And my question is, I heard the lady who was speaking there. I can't remember the name. I think it's
Oksana. We have Oksana in label. Oksana in label.
I heard her saying something like, I'm living with HIV. Yeah, so my question is it really possible for a person having HIV and live and like say that I'm living with HIV? Is it really true, or maybe she's saying that because she's talking about this she's on
this show, the live television.
So she's trying to encourage people because they're using that word, or can she really try to explain this?
Right. Okay.
It's like I can't really understand that somebody can say I'm living with HIV when we know everyone when they have HIV they are scared, and it's like something which they can't really accept to have.
Okay. Thank you so much, and then just stay tuned. You're gonna get your answer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. This is your
Yes,
question.
my question is, yeah, he's asking whether I actually live with it. Yes, I told you when I first came to this country, that was 17 years ago, I had a condition. I was diagnosed with HIV. And at that point, it was actually AIDS because I had a lot of other ailments that was causing, I had lost a lot of weight. I was not in a good place. And when I got that diagnosis, as I said before, I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who I could speak to, who had the same experience as me. And that was a really, really difficult time for me.
Yeah, but his question is more about like, are you not just covering up and saying
No,
like,
I'm
this
not.
is the way to encourage other people to come out and talk about
I'm
it?
not covering it because I am an advocate. I advocate for people living with HIV. You know what, HIV, yes, it's not a good condition to have. You don't go out to go and get it, but if it happens, it happens. And for me, I think it has opened a lot of opportunities for me. It has made me a better person. It has made me who I am today, that I can stand or even come to you and speak on your television about sexual health.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't have that diagnosis before, I would have not been in that position to speak about it. It would have been, when I got diagnosed, my first question is, how could I have gotten it? I actually forgot that I was married and I had a husband and I didn't have his sexual history, and therefore I could have gotten it. Anybody can get HIV as long as they are having sex and they are having sex unprotected.
I think, Osana, you have a lot to offer on this show. But by the way, you are looking very good and very healthy. So I don't see, even when you say it's hard for someone to believe that, you say like, I am HIV positive, and someone will believe that.
Yes, I am.
Because the way you look is just amazing. So probably you're going to be a big and huge inspiration to a lot of our viewers today. But due to time and everything, we're going to end this show today, and then we're going to encourage people to join us again next time. This is our first edition, Talk Health, and we were talking about sexual health. Is there anything there that we did not add to this particular topic today about sexual health? Just for this topic, do you have anything that you'd like to add for 2 minutes?
I would just say people need to engage with their doctors. They really need to engage with their doctors. I've got
another call. This is the last call. Quick call. Hello? Hello, this is Bestway TV, and this is Talk Health. Do you have a contribution, and what's your name and your contribution and a question, please?
Well, my name is Tekena, first of all. I don't have any question to ask, but I just want to congratulate the mama, what's her name again? I forgot.
Osana.
Yeah. I just want to congratulate her because, in our African culture, right, it's not easy for such a condition like HIV, to talk about it. Because we think as an African, it's a taboo to talk about it. But for her to be open and to talk about it on TV is good. Because there are so many people out there in our African communities that are in the same situation, but they don't want to talk about it to help other people. But for her to come up on the TV and, be open, I think I would just want to say congratulations to you, mother. You did a wonderful job, and it's really nice. You've helped a lot. You've helped.
You're welcome.
If there's someone in that situation who's listening to it, and then it's like, wow, okay, next time imagine me on the TV and I need to talk about just all my experience. You know what I mean? So thank you so much, mother.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you.
Okay. See, I think I'm going to end this, okay? Because we don't have enough time. And then we believe next time you can call your friends and say, we need to hear this. Talk Health is a new show, and this is our first edition. And then you're going to hear more from Osana and a label. And for now, you were going to say something and then...
No, I was going to say, we as Africans living in Scotland, we really need to have a culture of seeking health. And that culture has to be developed by us registering ourselves first with the GP. And most of us are not registered with the GP. We are not even registered with the dentist. And I really do believe these are the things that we need to do, to go to have a GP and to have a dentist, to just look after our health. If you are working 24/7 and sending money to Africa, when you go back to Africa, those Africans are not going to look after you, honestly, because they will eat all your money, and when you get back there, they will say, why are you back here? We need to look after our health so that we can look after our own children and we can make our lives better.
Thank you so much. Lebo, do you have something to add?
Just to add on what Hosanna said, we have lost many service users because they've died because of working too much. They don't look after themselves. You find that the person has been dead. The last one passed away, they found her 7 days later. So people really need to look after themselves. She always tells me, look after, I don't walk into that office being sick. I always get told go to the GP.
Okay.
So we really need to look after ourselves, because people lose their lives because of they don't take care of themselves.
So thank you very much. People need to look after themselves. I need to look after myself as well. Sometimes I feel like I work too hard. I'm kidding. However, today this show is ending here. But what I would like to encourage you is follow us on Facebook, Baseway TV. Follow us on Facebook, Baseway TV. YouTube, Baseway TV. Share our videos and then comment. If you have anything that you would like to contribute to the show, you can send us a message, or our number is right there. When you want to write anything about Talk Health, please reference it as Talk Health, so that way we know that this is for a particular Talk Health, because we have a different show as well. So please share our video and stay tuned for next time. Right now, I'm Vatican Kayembe, and thank you to Coco Majavukuto, the coordinator, the media coordinator, Papa Bertin, the admin, and thank you to Osana, Madam Osana, and thank you to Label for coming, and see you on the next edition of Talk Health.
Thank you.
So as for now, we say bye-bye.
Bye.